We all want to look at least a little younger. But did you know the foods you eat can affect how you age as much as the sun? Even the most expensive creams and lotions won't have an effect when your daily diet works against them. To get the most out of anti-aging skincare and health products, you need to eat well. Let's learn a little about the latest aging-related research and how selected foods and beverages literally speed this process up. And we're not just talking about skin aging. Every cell in the body can age prematurely. After all, health is never just skin deep. Keeping your body looking and feeling young gives it the power to fight infection, repair damage, remove toxins, and regenerate organs, tissues, and entire body systems. Most of us have heard of antioxidants and how these natural chemicals fight unhealthy, aging-free radicals inside the body. But modern diets can harbour huge amounts of free radicals. Before we find out which foods we should definitely avoid if we want to slow down aging, could you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel? Help us pass on the word about foods that accelerate aging. Plus, stay tuned for how you can get a free gift simply for watching today. And now, are you ready to be taken on a journey to the mystical and mythical fountain of eternal youth? Of course, there isn't such a thing. At least, not yet. But we now know much more about why we age. Aging is programmed in our DNA, right at the ends of the curled up strands of your personal and unique genetic code. If you've ever seen a picture of a set of chromosomes, the ordered groups of DNA we inherit from our biological parents, you'll understand why we say chromosomes have arms and legs. Until quite recently, genetic researchers didn't know what the garbled information at the ends of these arms and legs was for. It didn't seem to do anything important. They thought the chromosomes' ends, the hands and feet if you like, stopped the chromosomes from sticking together or unraveling. There's a special name for those hands and feet: telomeres. Nobel Prize winner Elizabeth Blackburn brought us years forward with her discovery of an enzyme called telomerase. Telomerase helps to unravel the ends of chromosomes every time a cell divides. Cell division regenerates every body system. Dr. Blackburn noticed something unusual at every division. Every time a cell divides, its telomeres get a tiny bit shorter, and when they get too short, the cell stops dividing. So the shorter our telomeres, the faster we age. Now, maybe you're wondering, if aging is controlled by our genes, what's the point of using creams and sunscreens, exercising, and watching what we eat? We're about to find out. When a cell stops dividing, it can't regenerate the tissue it's found in. Skin cells that can't regenerate lead to wrinkled, saggy, and dehydrated skin. Brain cells that can't regenerate slow down. Digestive cells that can't regenerate can't absorb nutrients well. These are typical age-related problems. We call the point when a cell stops dividing senescence. Cell senescence is one of today's top areas of scientific study. And here's the really important part. With a long telomere, senescence begins at a much later date. We know the typical Mediterranean diet has a positive effect on the aging process. Natural foods high in antioxidants also keep us younger for longer. Recent studies show us that these positive effects are frequently the result of telomere lengthening. Telomere lengthening? You mean it's possible to reverse aging? Sure, we can't reverse aging all the way, but we can reverse senescence when it has been sped up by an unhealthy lifestyle. One of the ways to do this is to avoid the 10 top aging accelerator foods on this list. So, are you ready to lengthen those telomeres? Let's start with number 10. Vegetable oils. Number 10 on our list of foods that accelerate aging is the entire food group of concentrated vegetable oils. Vegetable oils? Aren't they good for us? In very small quantities they can be, but the problem with canola, corn, sunflower seed and soybean oils, to name but a few, is how concentrated they are. Polyunsaturated vegetable oils are a healthier choice, but only a teaspoon at a time. You would have to eat huge amounts of vegetables or seeds to get 1 teaspoon of oil out of them. A pound of soybeans provides the equivalent of 5 tablespoons of soybean oil. 30 grams of sunflower seeds produce 1 flat tablespoon of sunflower oil. And while 5 tablespoons of soybean oil might sound like a lot, many processed foods are packed full of oil. A pack of medium fries at any fast food restaurant absorbs at least 15 grams of fat during the frying process. Our bodies are simply not made to eat that much pure oil in one sitting. In fact, a report titled Diet and Skin Aging from the Perspective of Food Nutrition listed fried food as one of the top skin agers. Whenever we eat foods that are fried, roasted, or baked in concentrated vegetable oils, we get a huge dose of oil. And too much vegetable oil shortens the telomere. It doesn't matter if you deep fry a piece of fish or a donut. Even healthy foods fried in lots of oil age your cells. So, is there a healthier alternative? There definitely is. Like coconut oil. Coconut flesh is over 1/3 fat. When you cook using a tablespoon of coconut oil, you're using the equivalent of 3 tablespoons of coconut flesh. That's a much healthier ratio. We're going to stay on the subject of fat as we move on to number 9 on our list of aging foods. And you might not have heard of it. Number 9, Olestra. Aging food number 9 is Olestra. Olestra is a man-made fat, often used in processed foods that we think are healthy. Olestra was developed in the 1980s, when we thought all fat was bad. We now know that healthy, unconcentrated fats from whole foods such as nuts, seeds, and fatty fish are extremely good for us. In moderation, these actually lengthen the telomere and make for youthful cells. But the huge fat debate led lots of processed food manufacturers to produce fat-free or low-fat products, and that's where Olestra comes in. Olestra is a sugar-based fat made in a laboratory. It's FDA approved and isn't absorbed by the body. Doesn't sound too bad, right? But Olestra plays havoc with the telomere. Olestra-containing products on the supermarket shelves include oven-baked potato chips, corn chips, and crackers, which are marketed as being healthy alternatives to fried potato chips. So why does this fake fat make our cells age? Well, it's not so much something in Olestra that's bad. After all, we don't absorb it. It's what it takes with it on its way out of the body. Olestra binds with fat-soluble vitamins. It directly removes vitamins A, D, E, and K from the gut. According to many scientific papers, vitamin E supplementation delays senescence. A proven link between obesity, vitamin D deficiency, and senescence was published in 2021 in the Cell's Scientific Journal. Vitamin A is a proven anti-aging ingredient in skincare products, and vitamin K helps to restore bone density and collagen production, both very much associated with the aging process. Olestra is banned in Europe and Canada, but in the US, Olestra or Olean is on lots of ingredient lists. So when you go to select the healthy, savory snack option, check the label for Olestra or Olean, because your health drive might be significantly shortening your telomere. Next up on our list of aging foods, we have a food that is often added to sandwiches, pizza, and even salads. Number 8. Cured meats. Although cured meats contain high levels of saturated fat, that's not their worst ingredient. You see, we're talking about the multitude of cured meats that contain nitrates. Our cells can't do much with nitrates. They convert them into nitrites and, if there's enough, into nitrosamine. Nitrosamine is an extremely aging chemical, especially in the brain. In fact, a very similar compound to nitrosamine, streptozotocin, causes Alzheimer's. Nitrosamine is really bad news when it comes to aging. Not only is it associated with cancer, it causes damage to our DNA and encourages oxidative stress. Oxidative stress significantly shortens our telomeres. Scientists have found that the more unhealthy you are, the greater the negative effect of cured meat. One study followed over 70,000 female smokers for 16 years. Women who ate 2 or more slices of cured meat a day were much more likely to develop chronic obstructive pulmonary disease than smokers who didn't. There's no need to completely cut cured meats from your diet if you enjoy them. All you have to do is find nitrate-free versions. And if you really can't do without the odd serving of your favorite brand, try this anti-aging trick. Eat a kiwi first. The very high vitamin C content of this particular fruit helps to prevent the conversion of nitrate into nitrosamine. But if you can't find a nitrate-free and low-sodium cured meat, you'll do even more to keep your cells youthful. Speaking of sodium, here's number 7. Table salt. Salt lovers, beware. Short leukocyte telomere lengths are found in obese women and men who eat high salt diets. Shockingly, this effect is also seen in children. A study published in the International Journal of Obesity reported that although salt itself isn't linked to shorter leukocyte telomeres in teenagers, obesity is, and high salt diets are heavily linked to obesity. This vicious cycle of high salt, excessive weight, and early leukocyte senescence starts at a very young age. What kind of cell is a leukocyte? A leukocyte is a white blood cell and a vital component of the immune system. When we can't produce enough white blood cells, infection and chronic inflammation are the result. Illness makes the telomeres of other body cells shorter. If you're not overweight, you won't experience the same negative effects of salt, at least not straight away. The salt diet can make you put on weight. It's also linked to puffy and dry skin. So get into the right habits now by limiting added salt in your diet and avoid piling on the pounds later. Maintaining a healthy weight is one of the best ways to stay young. Next up on our list of foods that accelerate aging, we have number 6, soda pop. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter if you drink sugar-packed sodas or diet versions. All sodas shorten telomeres. A huge study published in the American Medical Association's JAMA Internal Medicine Journal made this very clear. It looked at associations between soft drink consumption and death in 10 European countries. Of nearly 500,000 study subjects, those that drank any type of soda, diet or regular, had a higher risk of death. Interestingly, the causes of death were a little different. It was found that people who drank 1 to 2 artificially sweetened servings of soda most days are more likely to die from circulatory diseases, and those who drank regular soda are more likely to die from digestive disorders. And what did this study consider to be the average serving? This is really shocking. Researchers calculated a single serving of sugar-sweetened soda to be 225 milliliters, or 1 cup. Incredibly, a serving of artificially sweetened soda was only 125 milliliters, or half a cup. The smallest fast food restaurant soda is 3 to 4.5 servings, depending on which country you live in. So there's really no such thing as a healthy soda. Okay, we're halfway through our list. Can you see a pattern? All of these foods are highly processed, very salty or sweet, or extremely concentrated. So is nutrition the only way to get to the fountain of youth? How else can we turn back the telomere clock? Here's what the research says. Regular, moderate aerobic exercise, happy, healthy relationships, meditation and mindfulness, calorie restriction and small meals, quality sleep, low exposure to pollutants and toxins, improving stress tolerance, and reducing unnecessary sources of stress. Of course, none of these ideas are new, but we now understand exactly why they are so important. And one thing is clear, central to cell youth and the aging process is nutrition. So let's return to our list of what not to eat if you want to stay young. You might not like number 5, especially during the holiday weekend, because number 5 is your summer barbecue. Number 5, barbecued foods. Any barbecued meat, fish, vegan alternatives, or even vegetables can damage our DNA. The harm is in the charring. Blackened foods on a direct flame in the oven or in a saucepan are extremely harmful. High heat produces a series of chemicals including heterocyclic amines, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and acrylamides. Every one of these is a known carcinogen, and cancer is strongly associated with telomere length. How? A cell with unstable DNA usually has shorter telomeres, and unstable DNA is more likely to mutate. A cancer cell is a cell with mutated DNA. This changed DNA can turn off cell senescence, because once cancer cells start to grow out of control, the telomeres on their mutated DNA actually increase in length, which in this case is not a good thing. So it pays to think twice about how you cook your food and avoid charring it at all costs. Diabetes is also something that can increase the risk of developing cancer, so you don't want to eat foods linked to diabetes. Number 4 on our list of age-accelerating foods is such a food. Number 4. White flour. In 2020, the Advanced Nutrition Journal published a review about the impact of nutrition on telomere length. It noted that it's not only aging that's related to shorter telomeres, so is chronic disease. You see, when you slow down the aging process, you improve your overall health. The longer our telomeres, the less likely we are to develop diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure. White flour increases the risk of developing all three. In fact, high white bread consumption is directly associated with shorter telomeres, even in adolescence. Scientists believe the low nutrient quality of white flour increases oxidative stress in our bodies. Internal stress shortens the hands and feet of our chromosomes, but white flour not only lacks nutrients, it is also chemically altered. White flour often contains horrible-sounding products like oxide of nitrogen, chlorine, chloride oxide, nitrosyl, and benzoyl peroxide. These ingredients help to manufacture other harmful chemicals, leading to an aging domino effect. Chloride oxide, in combination with flour protein, produces alloxan. Alloxan is a toxic synthetic form of glucose. Alloxan destroys our insulin-producing cells. Eating white flour products plays a major role in the aging disorder known as diabetes. But there's no need to cut out bread completely. Whole grain bread contains no bleaching agents and plenty of nutrition. After that shocking information, are you ready to find out the top 3 foods on the list? Because although the foods we've looked at so far speed up the aging process, the final 3 are the worst of all. Before we dive in, do you want to know more about the best food choices for women's health? Just ask for our free book. Wholesome foods give us the nutrition we need for optimal health. In combination with a healthy lifestyle, they can reverse ill health and rejuvenate our cells. Today, you can get a copy of our information-packed 25 energy-boosting superfoods for women ebook. All you have to do is click the link in the description under this video. Carefully researched and with added energy-boosting tips, you'll find plenty of tasty ways to boost your nutrition and energy levels. Plus, superfoods help to lengthen our telomeres too. But returning to our aging accelerator list, number 3 isn't a superfood at all. In fact, it's a superfood. This food, or rather this drink, is number 3, alcohol. Spirits, beers, ciders, most wines and liqueurs, all of these significantly age your cells. Countless studies show how regular alcohol consumption is extremely bad for our health. But can alcohol directly influence telomere length? Definitely. And there's more worrying news. Researchers from the University of Catania in Spain studied telomere length in newborn babies. They also tested the DNA of newborns whose mothers regularly drank alcohol. Even at the very start of life, the babies of alcohol-drinking mothers had shorter telomeres. Isn't that terrifying? Alcohol also dehydrates the skin, meaning nutrients can't get into the cells. It decreases protective antioxidants that protect the skin from damage. So it's best to stick to just one alcoholic drink on occasion. And when it comes to redeeming factors, there is one type of alcohol that stands out above the rest. A 125 milliliter glass of red wine once a day can have a positive effect on health. Red wine contains resveratrol, an antioxidant found in the skins of red grapes. Resveratrol is being studied for its strong anti-aging properties, but combine food number 2 with red wine and you won't get that positive effect. This food is also red, but this time, red means danger, not resveratrol. Aging food number 2 is red meat. Don't throw out the contents of your fridge or freezer just yet, because research indicates that red meat eaten once a week can actually lengthen your telomeres. The danger is in frequent red meat consumption, such as having it every day or multiple times a week. How red meat is prepared is also very important. Packed full of saturated fats and chemicals, processed red meats in pre-packaged meals or cans shouldn't be in your kitchen, let alone in your digestive system. Some fresh red meats can also cause aging oxidative stress, because animals have been given antibiotics and growth hormones throughout their lives. So when you are choosing meat, only go for organic options. A 4 to 6 ounce serving of organic red meat once a week helps to reverse the aging process. Just don't go overboard, and avoid slapping that steak on the barbecue. We've looked at 9 foods so far and found out why they accelerate the aging process. The final food truly deserves its number 1 position, especially as it's very addictive. By far, the worst food we can put into our bodies is number 1, refined sugar. Why is processed sugar so terribly bad? Sugar makes us crave more sugar. More sugar leads to weight gain. Obesity creates stress in the form of inflammation, and stress in the body shortens the telomeres. But there's way more to sugar damage than that. Sugar stops the immune response by blocking chemicals that signal danger. Being ill is a form of stress, and stress shortens telomeres. Sugar causes rapid spikes in insulin production. Even artificial sugars do this. Ask any diabetic. Telomere shortening is associated with higher insulin levels. Excess sugar is stored in the liver as fat. Too much fat results in fatty liver disease. People with this disease have shorter telomeres than healthy individuals. We can reverse non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in just a few short weeks. At least we can when we cut out refined sugar. Sugar also upsets the natural bacteria in the gut. A recent publication called Young at Gut showed how using probiotics and removing sugar from the diet lengthens telomeres in rodents. And when too much sugar is in the blood, it attaches to proteins to form advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. AGEs do exactly that. They age us. They accelerate telomere shortening. Finally, sugar makes our skin sag. Let's use the term often found in scientific publications: sugar sag. Those AGEs produced by the processed sugars cause glycation-mediated aging. In fact, most researchers see AGEs as primary skin aging factors. AGEs accumulate in every skin layer and react with collagen and elastin. No matter how many expensive serums you use, they can't work at optimal power until you've cut out sugar from your diet. So try to ditch the cakes and candy and instead get your sweet fix from natural sources, such as whole fruits. And that brings us to the end of our list. We hope you've now got a much better understanding of how vital the right nutrition is when it comes to staying young and healthy. Please take a moment to like our video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to go to the description below to get your copy of 25 energy-boosting superfoods for women. Rejuvenate yourself and your cells through proven, powerful foods.